You want to hear a really freaky statistic? 21% of Wikipedia's traffic has been lost since Google featured snippets were announced.
Except that they weren't.
It's actually just not true. So this statistic was cited last week. And it was in a presentation which you apparently needed a bigger context for. But the number actually came from 2015, and it was even debunked at that time from Jimmy Wales from Wikipedia. It's just not true.
Right.
But it was passed around all over the web last week. And I think people have this impression right now in the industry that featured snippets are coming, the sky is falling, and we're all in trouble. And we want to show you in this video how that's not something we're seeing across our network of our websites. And there are actually really, really cool opportunities right now that you can take advantage of in SEO that have never been there before. I interrupt this video with a very special announcement. I am extremely sorry for the coordinating plaid that Ricky and I wore in this video. I'm just editing this right now and it looks crazy. We did not intend it. This was fully an accident. Back to the video.
So let's talk about what actually is happening.
Because something is happening.
Yeah, you've seen this quite a bit. This is just a visualization, but Google featured snippets are definitely becoming more prominent. And not just the featured snippets, but many different changes that they're making.
People also ask, sometimes on a blog post where you have 9 ideas and it'll kind of show the things there, bullet points of it. Yeah. They're making the search result page more feature rich. They're showing more information, whereas it used to be more like a telephone directory. Yeah. Now it's showing more of that content.
We noticed this just today in the people also ask. We opened up one of those and it added another one to the bottom.
So you could
just keep going all day long.
I spent at least 4 hours doing it.
Without ever leaving the SERP. You could just stay there all day long. More ads being displayed instead of in the sidebar on the top. More YouTube videos being displayed as options of content rather than just blog posts. Yes. So what is going on?
You should think that Google's revenue would just be skyrocketing.
Yeah, they're keeping us on their page.
For years, they've had the ads kind of tucked away in a sidebar with just a little at the front. Now there are 4 of them all at the top, right above the fold there. You know, they're doing things to keep people on the page for more time. It should just be skyrocketing their revenue, but it's not.
It's not. So
look at this. This is the price of Google ads, the price that Google is getting for those ads, just a quarter-to-quarter drop, 28%. And this number comes from their financial earnings report. But the other interesting number, these changes that we saw, those are there to combat that change because clicks to Google ads shot up 60%. So Google is making these changes because they're losing revenue on their ads. And why is that?
It makes a lot of sense, actually. Advertisers are learning that they can advertise directly where consumers are making the purchase. If they can advertise right on Amazon, right where they know there's commercial intent, their ad can be much more effective. And so Google is just losing out to other different places where those ads can be placed.
What in the world does this mean for us? Like, things are changing, and how do we turn what looks terrifying, like the sky is falling, and how do we recognize that it's just a wave, but a wave of opportunity? Anytime some things are moving around in internet marketing, it means somebody is going to end up riding that wave. How do you get there?
That's exactly right. So this does look scary. The more feature-rich content that appears on the SERP means more people are going to stay there longer. It means that they're less likely to click on all these blog posts, right? So here, we've got ranked #1 blog post and all of the others. When there's no snippet, 26% of clicks from this page go here to the first, and then all of the rest share just the rest of the clicks.
And this is data from Ahrefs.
This is data from Ahrefs. With the snippet, what you're seeing is, first of all, there's kind of the idea that maybe people are clicking less, but I don't buy it. I think that most of the time, the snippet only gives you a piece of what you're after, and people are more likely to click to learn more. The snippet wins 8.6%, and the number one ranking article only gets 19.6. What does this mean for us? It means that if you write an article that maybe ranks number 3, but you write the best 2-sentence answer and you can win the snippet, you get this 8.6% in addition to whatever comes just from being in the search results.
Right, so it's an incredible opportunity because obviously you try to get to number 1, right?
Yeah, every time.
But what if it's just a really competitive result? It's just really tough to get to number 1. There are a couple really big players in there. Well, if all you do is you write a little bit better of a snippet result than theirs, you can kill them. We're teaching this in our course, Project 24, Snippet Optimization. We have a lesson on this because it's really, really important right now. Look at this epic result. So this is not signed into Google. This is just how much do campers weigh. We are position 0. We got the snippet because we wrote the best two-sentence summary, right? We are also position 1, 2, and 3. Absolutely epic. I've never seen 4 results from the same site showing up for something like that.
And that's not necessarily what we're going for.
Yeah, that's right. We are not doing this all over the place. We had written different variations because they're totally legitimate.
Absolutely.
But it's awesome when you can have more than one listing on the page, and that's new. You couldn't do that before, be a 0 and 1.
And we get that a lot. 0
all the time.
and 1. We rank number 1 and we win the snippet, which, by the way, you can put a lot of work into writing a blog post, rank number 1, and not win the snippet. And what happens? Instead of this 26% that you used to get, you only get 19.6% of the traffic. It's not that the snippet keeps people from clicking. It's that the snippet took people away from the blog post that didn't have the best 2-sentence answer, and you lost from 26 to 19.6%. That's what happened.
Absolutely. So just to be clear, we are not at all suggesting you should write multiple articles on the same thing and try to get multiple listings. That's not it. And you'll see the pages that are linking, that are on there, they're on different aspects of the question. They're different topics, but they just happen to be for the best type of results you could go to there. So it's just really cool what you can do. So snippets are a wave of opportunity. On so many search results where there was too much competition, you could jump them and get to position 0. And for search results that you dominate, by doing some snippet optimization now and just formatting your content in a way that will work well for a snippet, now you can get 0 and 1. You're getting more than you did before. It's awesome.
And it just goes to show to the person, to the reader, that your site has the authority. Your site has the answer. And so if you see the same article show up as the snippet and as the number 1 ranked article, you're going to click that article. And so we're just seeing that. We're seeing articles of ours that do that, just getting tremendous traffic.
So there's another major wave of opportunity from what has happened, what Google is doing to combat this. And that is YouTube videos are everywhere in the search results.
They're showing up all over the place. They didn't used to.
Yeah, like a lot. Like it feels like every week I'm seeing more YouTube videos.
And it makes sense. YouTube is Google's platform, and they advertise all over the place on YouTube. So it's a great opportunity for them to be boosting their total number of ad clicks.
And those video ads are worth more than just the text ad right there, which goes to this. Yeah. So everything we're seeing from Google this year could probably have, we may not have guessed their exact strategy, but we could have known it was happening when we saw this, right? So how do we take advantage of this wave of opportunity?
Well, we got to stop ignoring YouTube. You can't ignore YouTube. The idea of just writing a blog and letting that ride, can it work? Yes.
Absolutely.
But the more and more that we see this, the more and more that we see YouTube becoming more dominant, just the less it's going to make sense for a blog to just be a blog. We need to take this multi-channel approach and approach people through video content and through written content.
Absolutely. It's an opportunity because now you can not just get yourself out there in text. You could make a video on that same topic. We could make a video on that same type of thing in ranking. But snippets do cut out some things. So this is what we saw years ago with weather, and all the weather channels freaked when this happened, right? Because Google said, you know what, we're just going to show the temperature for tomorrow right on the SERP. And the weather sites flipped out, right? But it turns out it wasn't that valuable. It was data that Google could get themselves. And there are some search results where I just wouldn't write that anymore because I know the featured snippet is going to handle it. Here's one that I searched this week. I'm wanting to take my family to Chiang Mai, Thailand for a month. And so I searched average monthly weather in Chiang Mai. And when I did that, I had all the information I needed from the snippet. I did not have any reason to click further. And so me as a blogger, if I'm writing a travel guide to Chiang Mai, I honestly would just skip that search entirely. And instead, maybe I write best months to visit Chiang Mai because there actually is valuable information that wouldn't make sense as a snippet. You know, somebody could explain, you know, actually the farmers near there burn all their fields in February. So from February, March, and April, it has the second worst air quality on the planet of any city. Don't go there during those months. So is there valuable content to be shared? Yes, we just have to package it a little bit differently.
And we're finding that those search queries that can be totally answered by the snippet are still pretty rare. Usually there's just more information to be had. Let's go back to that example of how much does a camper weigh? Well, the average weight of a camper is about 5,200 pounds. We answer that in the snippet. Yet we get a ton of traffic to that article from Google, from organic search. Why? Because people want, because people want a little bit more than that. Not all campers are the same. But two, we specifically say in the headline with 21 examples. So people go to that article and they see, oh, well, here's an example of a 28-foot camper. Well, that one weighs this much. And here's an example of a teardrop camper. Yeah, that weighs a lot less. And they can get an idea based on their actual search query, which is how much does my camper weigh?
There are just incredible opportunities right now in internet marketing. We're investing over 10 grand a month just in purchasing content to put on our websites. We are going nuts on it because it's working. We're seeing traffic increasing on those sites. We're starting brand new websites with no authority, and they're growing today like they grew 5 and 10 years ago. There is fantastic opportunity in the web. Just, we can't let bogus statistics convince us that the sky is falling when actually there are really great waves of opportunity.
There's one more thing that has me really scared.
What's that?
Voice search.
Ah,
I mean,
yes.
if I can just ask Google a question and they can answer it for me, I'll never need a blog again, right?
Hey Google, what's 6 times 7?
I'll answer your question after this message from our sponsor. If you'll just give me 42 seconds of your time, I will show you how to become a millionaire overnight.
Skip ad.
Just walk into my garage and look at my Lamborghini. 42.